Okay, so today is the third lecture of our probability theory. So today I will start from conditional probability because already many theoretical developments we discuss about. So today we'll start from conditional probability. After that we'll talk about independent events, independency of different events. So what is conditional probability? Actually you see that if there are two events, so you are dealing with the probability space. So in your probability space, if your A and B are any two events connected to a given random experiment E, the conditional probability of the event A on the hypothesis that B has occurred. Actually you want to calculate the probability of the event A, but B has occurred, denoted by probability of A given B occurs. This means this is the meaning, there is a meaning of that. What is the meaning of this symbol? That means probability of A given B occurs. Okay, that is B has already occurred and you have to calculate the probability of A. Suppose for example, if it is not raining outside, I will go out. So it depends on the your movement is depends on the rain, so that is called conditional probability. Okay, so this symbol gives you the meaning that probability of A given B occurs, and that can be calculated by probability of AB. You can write intersection also here, A intersection B by probability of B, provided that probability of B is not 0. That is, B is not an impossible event. Okay, so this is the calculation and the definition of conditional probability. And similarly you can define probability of B slash A, B given A occurs. So you can write B given A occurs as, again you can write, instead of this dot multiplication you can write the intersection also. So probability of A intersection B by probability of A. In this case A has happened and you are calculating probability of B. So this is probability of A. Okay, so there, next we'll talk frequency interpretation of conditional probability. What is there is some frequency interpretation. So your suppose A and B, again A and B are connected to a random experiment E, and let the events B and AB occur. N of B denotes the probability of B, that is event B. N of B depends event B. Okay, and N of AB depends how many times AB occurred, so it is event AB. Okay, now from frequency definition, and let the random experiment, you can write that let the experiment be repeated. Let the experiment, that is your experiment, so it is repeated under identical conditions, under identical conditions n times, right? And in that your N of B is the occurrence of B event, and N of AB is the occurrence of times N of AB times. So B and AB are two events and they are occur N of B times and N of AB times respectively. Okay, so then the conditional frequency ratio, then we can say the conditional frequency ratio is given by the conditional frequency ratio, that is I am calculating the conditional frequency ratio. What is the conditional frequency ratio? A given B occurs. Okay, that is equal to N of AB by N of B. Okay, So this is the frequency interpretation. This is the frequency interpretation. That is approximately equal to the, and you know, if n is infinitely large, from the frequency definition you can say that this approximately equal to the conditional probability a given b occurs. Okay, and this is approximately equal to probability of a given b occurs if n is infinitely large. So, or for a long sequence of repetitions of the random experiment under identical conditions, that is n is very large, provided that probability of, okay, sorry, it should be n of b, because I am talking about b occurs in n of b times. So this is probability of n of b, and this is probability of a given b. Okay, similarly, similar frequency interpretation can be made for probability of b given a occurs. Okay, so this is how you can give the frequency interpretation of the conditional probability. So sometimes that may be the question in the examination, that's what is the frequency interpretation of the conditional probability. So you can explain like this. Okay, next I will show you that the conditional probability satisfies all the axioms of probability. The conditional probability satisfies all the axioms of probability. So this is very simple. Suppose the first axiom was all the probabilities are greater than 0, greater equal to 0. So you can verify that. So we can write once again, what is your probability of a given b occurs is equal to probability of ab by probability of b. Okay, because a on the condition that b has happened or b has occurred, and you look at that your numerator is greater than 0, greater equal to 0, by axiom 1 probability should be greater equal to 0, and probability of b is greater than 0, right? Probability of b is greater than 0 because it is not an impossible event, it cannot be 0, but your probability of ab can be greater equal to 0. So ultimately this is positive, right? Ultimately this gives you greater equal to 0. Okay, because of that numerator. So it proves that probability of a given b occurs is greater equal to 0. So it is from axiom 1. So it satisfies the axiom 1. Okay. Number 2, what is your axiom 1? The certain probability of certain event is 1. What is your axiom 2? Probability of certain event is 1. So let omega be the event space. Let omega be the event space. Okay. So if probability of b not equal to 0, if p probability of b not equal to 0, then you can write probability of omega on the condition that b has occurred. Omega, probability of omega given b occurs is given by probability of omega intersection b by probability of b, according to the definition of conditional probability. It is by the definition of the conditional probability, just already we have given this. So this omega into b will be, omega intersection b will be probability of b, right? If you take the intersection of event space and the event, any particular event, that will give you the event only. So it will give you 1 because probability of b not equal to 0. So this will give you 1. So that was the proof that it satisfies the second axiom also. Okay, so it satisfies the axiom 1, axiom 2. What about the axiom 3? So that was the for proving of axiom 3. So axiom 1 and 2 are satisfied, right? Let's move on to axiom 3. Let a1, a2, an, etc. be countably infinite number of pairwise mutually exclusive events connected to a given random experiment. Now we have, for any event b, probability of b not equal to 0, we can write probability of happening a1, a2, etc., an, etc. given b occurs. Okay, and that can be written as this whole thing into b, that is intersection b by probability of B, and probability of B should not be 0. It is the condition here. So this, if you expand this, you can write A1B plus A2B etc. A and B, right, plus etc., because this is countably infinite number of pairwise mutually exclusive events. Mutually exclusive. So if you take any one of them, the intersection of anywhere, that will be phi. So this can be written as probability, and since the events are mutually exclusive, this are also pairwise mutually exclusive events. This addition will be also pairwise mutually exclusive events. This, so you can write by using this mutually exclusive property, you can write this probability of A1B plus probability of A2B plus probability of A and B etc. So this result, this last result, this can be written as probability of A1B plus probability of A2B plus probability of A and B plus etc. by what was the denominator? Probability of B. Okay, so you have this in the last section. So now if you split the thing, if you split all the terms, it will give you probability of A1B by probability of B plus probability of A2B by probability of B plus etc. plus probability of A and B by probability of B. So you can split and write that in this form. So this is nothing but your probability of A1, given B occurs, right? And the next one is probability of A2 given B occurs, right? And so on. Probability of AN given B occurs, so on, etc. So hence what you see, you have started from this relation, and that gives you the last expression. Look at the last. So this is the third axiom of the axiomatic definition. If A1, A2, AN etc. are mutually exclusive and countably infinite number of pairwise mutually exclusive events, so you can write that. So this actually satisfies all the axioms. So what you see, what is your final conclusion? That conditional probability satisfies all the axioms of probability, okay. So this is how. So there are two important questions in conditional probability. One is the what is the frequency interpretation, and the next one is the show that the conditional probability satisfies all the axioms. So this is the proof. Next, let me give you a very interesting example on conditional probability. How will you deal with the problems of conditional probability? So people are talking about novel coronavirus. So let us have an example of that problem using conditional. A medical test for novel coronavirus, that is COVID-19, has outcomes positive and negative, plus and minus, with probabilities. The probabilities are given in the table. Look at that. And what is D? D represents that the person have been exposed to COVID-19, okay, and the person gone for a test, and the test can be positive, test can be negative. So this is the, and D represents that the person is affected by the COVID-19. So it positive, if it's positive, the probability is 0.009, and if the test gives negative, 0.001, okay. And the person is do not exposed to COVID-19 and it's gone for a test, then the positive, it will be 0.099 and probability of negative will be 0.891, okay, clear. So this is given in the problem. Actually, this is the probability, calculated probability. Now let us calculate the conditional probability. Positive, given that D occurs, that means test result, what is the probability that test gives you a positive result on the condition that person is having COVID-19, novel coronavirus, is suffering or have been exposed to COVID-19. So this is the conditional probability. What is this conditional probability? Actually, this conditional probability represents the test. Suppose you have been exposed to COVID-19 and you are gone for a test, and test give you a positive result. So what is the conditional probability? The conditional probability will have probability of positive, test will give you positive on the condition that D, that is the person is if infected by the virus. So the result will be from the definition of the conditional probability, P of positive intersection D by probability of D. D means the person have been exposed. You look at that, and D complement means person do not have that disease. So in this case, positive and infected by the virus, it will give you 0.009 in the numerator, and probability of D can be calculated by sum of these two, right? So you can calculate, and you can calculate the value. You can check that value will be 0.9. Already I have calculated that portion. Similarly, you can calculate the negative probability of negative on the condition that person do not exposed to the COVID-19 and do not have that disease, do not infected by the virus. So that will can be calculated, and that can give you 0.9. Okay, just the test result will be negative, probability of test result will be negative on the condition that the person is not infected by the virus. That is the meaning of this conditional probability, and both the results give you 0.9. Now we have some statement in this question. So what are these? Some observation. The test is fairly accurate. Okay, apparently, because it gives you 0.9 as the probability, this gives you 0.9 as the probability approximately. So fairly test gives you a accurate result. But you see, sick people yield a positive 90% of the time, and healthy people yield a negative about 90% of the time. Suppose in any case you go for a test and get a positive, it is happening, it is happening in this scenario. Lot of people are going for a test. Suppose a normal cold and flu are coming, infected by normal cold and flu, but people are really um, talking about COVID-19, so they are really scared about COVID-19, so they are going for a COVID-19 test and they are getting positive, but they do not actually carrier of that virus, but they are getting a positive test. So what is the probability you have the disease? You have to calculate. Got my point? So the question is, suppose you go for a test and get a positive, what is the probability you have the disease or you are infected by the virus? That is, you are a carrier of the COVID-19. So most people answer 0.9. The correct answer is, if you calculate by probability and mathematically, so your question is, you are getting a positive test, and what is the probability you are have the disease? So the conditional probability will be probability of D on the condition that I have a positive result, right? So the answer will be, by definition of conditional probability, probability of positive intersection D by positive, and that will give you 0.08. So you don't have the disease, the probability is very less. The probability of disease of that COVID-19 exposed to COVID-19 is very less. So what is your lesson? The lesson is that you need to compute the answer numerically. Don't trust your intuition, right? Don't trust your intuition. You have to calculate the probability numerically. So that is the very interesting problem, and in modern scenario this is very important also. So let me now talk about one more problem on that. So urn contains 10 white balls, 5 yellow balls and 10 black balls, right? 10 white, 5 yellow and 10 black balls. Okay. Now John takes a ball out of the urn. All balls are equally likely. What is the probability that the ball removed is yellow? What is the probability that the takes a ball, actually he is removing one ball out of the urn, and what is the probability that the ball removed is yellow? So let me define first. A denote the event that the ball is yellow, and another thing you have to find out, what is the probability that the ball removed is yellow given it is not black. So it is not black, so there are that means there are 15. If it is not black, that means it can be yellow, it can be white, right? So let me define two events. A denote the event that the ball is yellow, and B denote the event that the ball is not black. So what is probability of A? You can easily calculate probability of A. Very simple, because you have 5 yellow, so it will be 5 by 25, and the total number of balls in the urn is 25. So it is 1 by 5. And also you can calculate very simply what is probability of B, that is ball is not black, so there are 15 ball, 10 plus 5 which are not black. So in that case you can calculate 15 by 25. So it will give you 3 by 5, right? Now you want to calculate what is the probability that the ball removed is yellow. Okay, so you see ball removed is yellow, you already calculated. You can observe that A intersection B. What is probability of A intersection B? What is the meaning of probability of A intersection B? The ball is yellow and the ball is not black. So that will give you the result also. The first answer of the first question, what is the meaning of probability of A intersection B? A intersection B means the ball is yellow and the ball is not black, because B is the event representing the ball is not black. So in this case also this is nothing but your probability of A, 1 by 5. So this is your first answer. Okay, so this is your first answer. Now let me calculate next question. What is the probability the ball removed is yellow given it is not black? So you have to calculate probability of A on the condition that B has occurred. Probability of A on the condition that B has occurred, because that is the event, the probability that the ball is removed yellow given that it is not black. So you can calculate with the help of conditional probability, probability of A intersection B by probability of B, because given probability of B, and that is equal to 1 by 5 by 3 by 5, and that gives you equal to 1 by 3 is the answer. So that is how you can use your conditional probability. Next, in the next lecture I will give you more problems, only focusing on the problems. Lot of complicated and difficult problems also I will solve in your class. Let's now move on to the next part. So if A1, A2, An be pairwise mutually exclusive events, one of which certainly occurs, and this A1, A2, An etc. form an exhaustive set of events, that means you can write your event space omega equal to A1 plus A2. You can write the sample space equal to this, because this is an exhaustive set of events, right? So A1, A2, An be pairwise mutually exclusive events, then you have to prove this result. Probability of B equal to summation of probability of AI, probability of B's given AI, where B is any event connected to the same experiment, provided the conditional probabilities are defined. So this is very simple proof. I just proved that thing for you. Here A1, A2, An are pairwise mutually exclusive events and connected to a given random experiment E. So this is finite. So there is no need of writing of these things. This should not be there. So because this forms an exhaustive set of events, so we can write omega equal to this Okay, so since one of the events certainly occurs, and you can write B equal to omega intersection B, and your omega is a1 a2 an. So again, just like the previous proof, if you expand, you have this addition. Now a1 a2 an are mutually exclusive, so these events are also mutually exclusive, pairwise mutually exclusive. So if you write the probability of B, that will be given by probability of, already we have explained in conditional probability this type of proof. So if you write this one I equal to 1 to n, you can prove that result, final result. So this is a very simple proof with the help of the previous one. So this theorem also we proved in our lecture. Next we'll talk about Bayes theorem. What is Bayes theorem? So let a1 a2 an be n pairwise mutually exclusive events connected to a random experiment E, where at least one of a1 a2 an is sure to happen. That is, it's the same sense, that is from an exhaustive set of n events. Let B an arbitrary event connected to E, where probability of B not equal to 0. Also let the conditional probabilities, probability of B slash a1, probability of B slash a2, etc., probability of B slash an, that is probability of B given a1 occurs, probability of B given a2 occurs. This must be, you must read like this: probability of B given an occurs, all known, these are all known quantities. Then probability of AI given B occurs, if you want to calculate, then this is the expression of the Bayes theorem, and this theorem is called the Bayes. So this is very very important in doing problems actually. And in this case, one thing is that probability of AI is called prior probability, and probability of AI given B occurs is called posterior probability of A. Okay, so these are the things. So let us give you hint for doing the proof. Suppose first let me draw a sketch. This is your sample space, okay, and this is a1 a2 etc an, okay, a1 a2 etc a1 a2 etc an. I am talking about these mutually exclusive events. And also you have b1 b2, b1 is included in a1, b2 is included in a2, and also bn. And let us suppose that b1 b2 bn constitute B. Okay, let us suppose. So what according to my assumption, a1 a2 an are the exhaustive set of events. So by proving, so we can say omega equal to a1 plus a2 plus etc an, right? And you can say B equal to omega intersection B, that will give you B into a1, just like the previous one, okay, an, all are mutually exclusive, so you can separate, you can expand B of a2 etc B of an, okay. And suppose this B a1 is, let us suppose that this is your b1 b2 etc, and for all, since for all j, you look at that b1 is contained in A, so we write bj is contained in aj for all j from this sketch, okay. So because if you take the intersection of b a1, that will give you b1, and this is b2, this is bn, because of this reason. And aj's are all pairwise disjoint, you can check the diagram, because your sample space is partitioned into A1, A2, AN also, okay, and probability of B, you can write probability of B equal to summation j equal to 1 to n probability of Bj, right? Okay, you check your B1, B2, Bn. If you take the summation, that will give you B. Already I encircled that. And probability of that equal to, that is probability of B equal to, you can write probability of Bj summation, obviously there is a summation, equal to summation probability of Baij, and that is equal to Baij is nothing but your, you can apply the previous concept of conditional, so that is equal to probability of summation Aj probability of B on the condition that Aj has happened. Okay, just already we proved in the previous part. Okay, so this is the very simple proof. Now you can write your expected result, that you want probability of Ai given B occurs can be written as this. Okay, because your denominator is already calculated here. So with the help of this you can complete the few lines in this proof. So this is your base theorem. Okay, so these are the important theorems. Let us now give one example of Bayes theorem. How will you apply Bayes theorem? So a new machine is invented. It is a beautiful problem. A new machine is invented that determines if a student will become a millionaire in the next 10 years or not. Given that a student will become a millionaire in 10 years, the machine succeeds in predicting this 95% of the time. So a student will become a millionaire in 10 years, prediction is true, and the probability is given by 95%, that is 0.95. Given that the student will not become a millionaire in the next 10 years, the machine predicts wrongly that he will become a millionaire in 1% of the cases. This is known as false positive. Okay, so in that case your probability is 0.01%. Only 0.5% of the students will become millionaires in the next 10 years. That is established, that is the data given in the problem. Given that Zuckerberg, that is the who creator of Facebook, Zuckerberg has been predicted to become a millionaire by the machine. What is the probability that Zuckerberg will actually become one? Got my point? Zuckerberg has been predicted to become a millionaire by the machine. What is the probability that Zuckerberg will actually become one? That is, he actually a millionaire. So you have to calculate that. So look at that. Before that, you read the question very carefully and just denote some events, just like I did some calculations here. So let us represent A be the event Zuckerberg will become a millionaire in the next 10 years, and B is the event Zuckerberg is predicted to become a millionaire by the machine. Okay, so in the first case Zuckerberg will become a millionaire in the next 10 years, and B is the Zuckerberg is predicted to become a millionaire by the machine. So you have to calculate according to the last two lines. Just read the last two lines of the question. Given that this is given that Zuckerberg has been predicted to become a millionaire by the machine, and you have to calculate the probability that Zuckerberg is actually a millionaire. So you have to calculate the probability of A given B occurs. Okay, that you have to calculate. So this is your area of interest. So the information is probability of A is 0.005. Look at that. Okay, and probability of, it's from the question, and probability of B given A occurs is 0.95. Probability of B given A occurs is 0.95. That is, Zuckerberg is predicted to be millionaire by the machine, and it is given that he is a millionaire, and the perfection of the predicting this is given by 95%. So this is 0.95. Okay, and probability of B given AC, that is, he doesn't a millionaire, he is not a millionaire, and the prediction is 0.01. So this is also given in the problem. Look at that. 1% of the class, the machine predicts that he will become a millionaire, but he is not. He is not a millionaire, and that is given by 0.01. Okay, and here only 5%, 0.5% of the students will become millionaire in the next 10 years. So Zuckerberg will become a millionaire in the next 10 years. The probability is 0.005 according to this statement. 0.05% of the students will become millionaire. So let us calculate this by applying Bayes theorem. So that will be probability of A into probability of B given A occurs, and denominator you have the summation. Just already we explained this summation. This is actually the particular thing. You want this probability I, particular I. So in the numerator you have a particular I, but in the denominator you have all the J's, all the conditional probability with A1, A2, AN, exhaustive set of events. So here also you have probability of, you want this probability, this particular probability is in the numerator, and you have a summation at the denominator. Okay, now if you substitute, you can calculate the value would be 0.319, etc., and that is less than 1/3. So efficiency of the machine is not very perfect, so not such a great machine after all. So this is the result. Efficiency is not correct by the machine. Okay, this is how you can check your efficiency of different things applying. So modern world is actually applying so many applications, probabilistic models are there, but that is very high level. We need lot of knowledge in probability after that postgraduate level, and after that you have to do some research on that. After that you can develop a model or something. You have to learn probabilistic model and all that. Okay, so this is how you can apply your Bayes theorem in probability. Okay, so let me stop here today. So today we have discussed about basically on conditional probability and different important theorems on conditional probability, frequency interpretation of probability, and the axiomatic, it satisfies the axiomatic that we proved. We proved an important theorem like this: probability of B summation equal to summation I equal to 1 to n probability of AI, probability of B given AI occurs. This is with the help of this we have proved Bayes theorem. That is a very important theorem, and one application of Bayes theorem, and several problems on conditional probability. In the next video we'll talk about independence of events and independent probability, and we'll show different problems on that. Okay, so let me stop here. Thank you so much all of you for your patience.